the action plan on human rights, as well as the action plan on business and human rights. Finally, after reviewing the proceed, we are here today to validate the plan that will reshape Ugandans' human rights. The demand for human rights is not just for policymakers. It is for every Ugandan. It is the tool to ensure that human rights are not optional. They are embedded in governance, in economic policies, in everyday life. In fact, let me add that this plan to work, we must ensure that no one is left behind. Minority communities, youths, and marginalized populations must be at the center of human rights policy. Discrimination must end. Equal access to justice, education, health, and economic opportunities must be a reality for everyone. We also must strengthen our legal aid so that every Ugandan, regardless of status, has access to legal protection. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say a role of mission. Let me also say this, that the success of the action plan does not rest on a single institution. It requires all hands on deck. Even so, the government must allocate adequate resources for implementation. Without funding, a plan only remains as words on paper. I want to say the organizations, the government, media, and other confederations represented here and beyond private sector like other workers have. I want to see the private sector integrate human rights into corporate policies and business practices. Respecting rights is not just good ethics, it is good business. I want to see them playing to grow. I want to see them speaking up, reporting violations, or use their rights to account. Human rights are not just for institutions, they belong to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, laws and policies alone will not transform that. We need to we need to culture of human rights. That means educating people, young people, about their rights and responsibilities, letting human rights in schools, in workplaces, and communities, and ensuring that respect for rights is part of our national identity. This is not an impossible dream. We know of countries and society that once struggled with human rights have now found a situation where we too can do the same. Stay. Today, we are not just consulting and validating document, we are shaping the future. We are deciding what kind of country we want to be for the next generation. The European Promise Commission will not wait until human rights is in every form. In every school, in hospitals, in workplaces, review with the government and with the party commission to this cause. We are optimistic and beginning to the nation where human rights are not a privilege for few, but a reality. In these few years, let me take this opportunity, wish you productive years and extended very much. Now, this is not the remarks that I'm referring. I want to tell this with a honor and pleasure. We invite our Honorable Minister, Justice, and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable to come and assist I am the representative of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, and so the industrial court, our peers, all of you distinguished representatives. I see in the room the secretary of the Democratic Party, who is also a member of the Minister of Executive Government, the people who did the hard work from the Ministry of Justice and our institutions, dear friends. It has been announced that money is supposed to be a key, not others. I hope the keynote address does not follow the example of the one who started the keynote is supposed to lead others to sing, but our MC that time was about misleading to sing the anthem of key. Is supposed to frame what the discussion is about. The PS has already shared with you why you're doing what you're doing. No one has compelled us to do this. We do it because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. I will not have relatives. As you know, I'm not an elected movie, so the city is finding the right to have been appointed minister of the president. And when you appointed the president, he changed his mind in time and decided to respond to the question. So in short, you don't have a lot of time. So you need to be focused. Fortunately, the manner in which I joined the Ministry of Justice enables me to focus on a few things. And in my first address to the top management of the ministry, I declared the following goals. Number one, that we need to reduce the economic dispute resolution. As I speak now, the government has adopted the national policy on alternative dispute resolution. We expect that this will improve the courts and provide parties that have been dispute so they don't have to mediate. Judges will go to court because they are not agree. So you don't have the guidance are not part of our dispute. So you get shocked when I hear citizens say, the lawyers, the judges, but why are you in court in the first place? Because you failed your position. If you would agree, the right will not be one. Is to ensure the implementation of the government solution that we can improve. Establish a government standing committee on human rights. So in Kenya, together with the peers and the technical team in the Attorney General's chambers, we went to got parliamentary approval for the establishment of the Cabinet Standing Committee on Human Rights. That standing committee has senior ministers. I was appointed to chair the committee, deputized by the Minister of Internal Affairs. The members include the Attorney General, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, the Minister of Local Government, the Government Chief Whip, the Minister for Security, and the NRA Security and Citizens officials. So, the big achievement for us, we since governments are supposed to run on the basis of policies, we need a kind of committee at the highest level of government to deal with issues of human rights. Among the things we are very good is, for instance, the question of abuses of the human rights of the fishing communities. As you know, the government does not hesitate to feel battle. That's the reason. So the Fisheries Act, which provides for a unit to monitor the lakes and rivers, when it was established, and yet the fishing community was basically involved in abuse water bodies, fishing small fish, overfishing, and so on and so forth. So the army moved in. As you look, the army is not trained to deal with civilians. The army is only trained to deal with armed conflicts. And the only thing you can do is to keep escalating the force. They are not like the police. That matter came to our attention and we addressed it as the company standing committee on human rights. We are going to be taking back our report. As I talk now, the permanent secretary has managed to secure all land. She will be at the Ministry of Justice in order to respond to issues related to human rights. We have got a human rights space at the Ministry of Justice. But we need to hear from people what should they have to seek redress. As an example, when the member of parliament from one of the islands is organizing a celebration for the International Women's Day, the police went in to stop the meeting. But contrary to the law, the young people beating up everybody, including the member of parliament, the arrested people were injured. So they told me we called the police, and of course, the people responsible were subjected to disciplinary measures by the police standards unit. I also took the initiative to call the headquarters of the National Unity Platform and we spoke to the CPJ, who I told to go and make a statement at the police. Now, the nature of our society, the politics, the very sometimes we behave like the kind of people who, when they reach an accident scene, and the accident victims are ready to them, and maybe the accident was a result of a bad road, instead of them being first aid to the victims, they'll first of all record a video for TikTok complaining about the bad roads and denouncing the government and calling for its overthrow while the victims treat them. This is something we are going to be. Obviously, if the road is very bad, no one is going to repair it. You can contribute the victim to hospital. How can you call the shop? And the difference is really very good balance. Imagine a good Samaritan because of the TikTok video denouncing the lack of security on that road. Seeking the man who has been beaten up and posted. Well, what sort of passage do we have in the Bible? So, as the means of justice, we hope to be able to stand in the gap. But those insisting on what the system government continues to bring down the government through. Governments there, the political parties are always trying to show that they are better alternatives to the city government. That's what politics is all about. But we also need to look at there's something called civil license. And that's why I'm really pleased to see the people who are not political actors, like the representatives of the traditional institutions, the representative of my own traditional leaders here. I have heard about the one from Segui, one US President Joe Biden, calling upon the plan to adopt the National Action Plan on Human Rights. Still in the White House, and really bad. The truth is, the time the draft is already been finished. So, very, very, it is only moments. Now, many young people who are here, many actually aware that you're making this. For you have attended so many seminars, this is just another seminar. But this will not be when you're going to get for them, the children, grandchildren. You feel the people participating. It should be this important topic. Because the liberty of citizens is fundamental. And we don't want locally, national, and international. You have to project this as a major contribution you have made to your country. This is where many of our politicians are better than some of you. So when we are invited for instance, say for you and you, you're not really talking about everything you do. So, but when you think to it, the things that make a difference, even if you are thinking over your competence, so we just want you to develop of the meaning of today. It means more than what what is the small efforts to make that will distinguish you from all the other people. For instance, when as a young man in the year 2006, I'm trying to find a way to go to the bush to meet Joseph God. I remember speaking to a vice president of South Sudan. Originally, I wanted to go by bus. I approached the second NGO called Save the Children, working with our Prime Minister of our cultural institution, who was then in charge of the group NGO program. We had to go to one of the masters, bring The report was that and so on. So then I decided to pick into the Lieutenant General of the Weapons. All in mind, we just me and aeroplane from Northern Kenya, the place called Soviet. And I remember speaking on the phone to and his typical accent. Mr. Chairman, we are doing a aeroplane from North Soviet. If you take it to Meridi, you'll find like cruisers, and they will take you to the farmer, and you will be able to do it the way you choose it from. You are about to do it. And it was this unconventional Soviet planes with wooden seats, which are lined parallel with each other and with no seatbelts. If there were seatbelts, they were broken. So we assembled the thinking because it is dangerous to go to the bush. I don't know if you want to encounter that because of form. I doubt when you do, you will. We get to go to my when you do more past. Si quieren cosas las reglas, que no se han podido discutir, and all. But I'm sure that we will be able to influence the people. So, it's not the points, the system. General flooring and coloring footprint, what's the difference was vomiting me? So my history was written like some thing for vomit. My for the school is not my flooring. Yes. Then there was one short chassis potato and three Tiffany's, like the one of the parents. So short chassis potato. Received the material in knowledge or was the bush. So that everybody in the streets. Some We start organizing the Usually, as we define what kind of state was part in your things. The mission state state So, being very comprehensive to what you are proposing, if there's anything missing, please propose it without fear. This is an opportunity for you. Secondly, is it inclusive? Is there a category that is not included? Is it transformative? In other words, does it have to know we have to go to this? Even to the excuse you immediately after the this is not the static. It's like we are not starting another policy paper to get with the chance that but we must have a living picture. It is an open plan, so it must have the ability to respond to the terrain. So we are not going to know something to never change. We must give it the flexibility. It's consistent to the quality
This kind of also that is in government. You follow the Hindu means the generals with the popes. That's the popes. So let's sanitize our language, literally. We promise to sanitize our language with the government. We also call upon you to sanitize yours. The name of the Shinto is a business responsibility practices that respect human rights. These are the areas of the big noise in Kampala have been also realized. The correct one in the ritual commandments. And then they become legal state. Private sector. Not this example that politicians have. Being different. The predicament of communication. That is precisely what I mean. Concerned about the suspect's health and the fact that he has been on your respect. I have responded. Of course, I has crossed the line into politics. And then I have certificates of dishonor and certificates of shame, and we have been said to be payroll. We really don't mind. It's okay. We can take that. If they do the file and saw the evidence, I think they may not want to be associated very quickly, just in case they are called to give evidence. So we live in a society where those who know very little talk the most, and those who know a lot talk very little. It is important that you have all witnessed the responses. But because of inability something, you take it out of context. If you read the Bible like that, then I think it contradicts even the Ten Commandments, which says thou shalt not kill. But there are passages in the Bible which authorizes killing. So I call upon the media to be responsible and not to exaggerate, Supreme Court has made its ruling, and it is the duty of the government to comply. It is the Supreme Court. So nobody else can have another word after the Supreme Court has spoken. Now, many of you who read the Bible know the story of the man who gave orders to two of his children. One was given an order to do something
and quickly went and pretended to go and do it, but did not do it. Was very obedient, actually deceptive. But another child protested. Why is it always me? Why do you always want to order me around? I'm not going to do it. In fact, I'm sick and tired of this. But he went and did it. So in this case, the president protested, the CDF protested, but didn't we produce him yesterday in the civilian court? We produced him. I went to parliament and said he's going to be there. So was that a court martial? Justice Singiza is not a general. He's a justice of the High Court. So amid this, why are you focusing on the protests? Why are you not focusing on the actions that are being taken? Tomorrow, he's going to appear in the proper criminal court. And the trial will begin in earnest. So amid this, all the protests, please look at what we are doing. I can say, if you say, bring me a bottle of water, say, I'm tired. All the time you are sending me, but I'll bring you your water. But the obedient child will say, yes, sir, and just disappear and do nothing. So who is the better person? So I do believe that when the government is criticized and attacked, and especially when people express their opinions, the opinion basically said, we disagree with the ruling, but we respect it. And it is being respected. Fortunately, the lawyers also talking to the judiciary. So the other day when we went to the courts, we found that the lawyers had already rescheduled the case to yesterday. So we just went and told the parliament that this is what is happening. Some people in parliament think that we can order the court around. We can't. I cannot pick up a phone and tell a judge that, do this and that. But the lawyer can do it. So I expect that the media
Serious. Discipline. The agenda and we responded,
as indeed any government is supposed to respond. Finally, there is no insignificant voice. No contribution is too small. We expect that through dialogue, collaboration, and shared responsibility, we will build a national action plan that reflects the needs and aspirations of our people. The world around us is changing. Facing challenges. You have seen in America, 11 million foreigners are going to be expelled from the United States of America. I think that's why even our normally very active opposition in America are a bit quiet. I think they don't want to agree to the attention of President Trump to their illegal presence in America. I've not seen a demonstration of late. Why are they doing that? Because it is their country. This is also our country. Immigration. But everybody is basically an immigrant. I'm also an immigrant in Uganda. I'm told our journey started from Baral Gazelle in Sudan. I don't know where Crispin Kaheru's journey started. Were you part of the Bantu migration? So all of us are basically immigrants. Therefore, I have to humbly suggest that we put our constitution at the center of this national action plan. Because the Constitution is the glue. It guides us. It is the signpost. I expect that we will all engage wholeheartedly without fear or favor. Intimidated by people's titles. If somebody is speaking nonsense in this meeting, please put up your hand. You don't have to say it is nonsense, but you can suggest it in better words so that the idea is abandoned. By the way, big people can abandon their ideas if they are told in very good language that, you don't want to be associated with such an idea. We are very good at abandoning bad ideas. That's why we are here. Let us challenge outdated norms and propose innovative solutions. Let us build partnerships that turn policies into practice. I'm very pleased that we have someone from the Uganda Police. The Uganda Police, you are suspects, number one. I don't know why the police, whenever they want to arrest somebody, instead of talking about the reason for the arrest, they say, remove your shoes and things like that. But really, what have my shoes got to do with the offense? We hope the National Action Plan will make provision for the re-education of our security forces. When you represent the state, you are so powerful that you don't even need to shout at anyone. If a senior police officer like you and say, Mr. Mao, please follow me to the police station. But when they come, they say, they grab you. Let's go. They don't tell you where. They don't tell you why. They just say, let's go. We also wish that the police distances themselves from those who are not in uniform and carrying guns. I don't think it is appropriate for people to be confronted by armed people who are not dressed in uniform. What if you find me armed also and I kill you? Because really, I have no reason to even know that you are a law enforcement person. As far as I'm concerned, you are just an armed thug. So what if I have a gun and I kill you? So I think the police should really keep those other people behind the scenes. If you are truly enforcing the law, enforce it properly and in uniform. I have participated in a number of demonstrations, and I've always told those who I'm demonstrating with, respect the people in uniform and obey their orders, and don't be violent. So the police needs to adopt an approach which respects human rights. Tell suspects what offense they have committed. Of course, the citizens also need to realize that the police are also human beings. I've witnessed a number of demonstrations where the citizens who are actually demonstrating against the state, they go personal against the police officers. Look at him. He looks so emaciated. I don't even think you ate supper. Are your children even in school? Why are you supporting the regime which doesn't care for you? I mean, surely at that point, that is the wrong time to address that kind of issue. No wonder some of the police officers who lose their tempers quickly abandon their professionalism and first of all deal with that matter. If I'm a police officer, really, if I've come to stop an illegal protest, it's none of your business. Whether my children have gone to school, whether I have no food at home, really, that's none of your business. After all, I've simply been deployed to enforce the law. It's not personal. So when you make it personal, that's not a very good thing. I was pleased to learn that the Uganda Human Rights Commission is now adopting policy on civic education. Our citizens have a very low level of civic awareness. They are capable of insulting the president, the first lady, all the family members by name, but they are incapable of telling you one provision of the law which entitles them to better services. Why don't we learn how to confront power constructively? It was shaped by the student movement. I led a number of strikes, but that did not stop me to always keep a line open to the person I'm confronting. Even when you are shooting at each other, you must have a line. Even Hamas and Israel are talking. Even as they are lobbing missiles at each other every day. But there's a line through which they talk. When there's a small break in the fight, they say, how many of my people have you captured? Why don't we do a deal this weekend? But here in Uganda, nobody wants to talk to the other. I found that talking is very productive. After leading a strike in Makerere in 1990, I found it necessary to go to a phone booth, a call box, and call State House. I've told this story very many times. At the age of 23, I thought that when you call the number of the State House, the president would pick the phone, say, hello. That is what I thought, that the phone is on the president's desk. But when the phone rang, somebody else picked it, asked me who I was, and I said, I'm Norbert Mao, president of Makerere Students Guild. I would like to talk to the president. So I thought she was going to say, please hold on, here he is, so that I can address him. Instead, she asked me, what do you want? So I told her, we have a lot of problems in Makerere. Since the president is the chancellor, we want to meet him and share our own side of the story. The lady who picked the phone is the one you now know as Allen Kajina. At that time, she was known as Allen Kakuyu. 3 days later, we received an invitation to State House to meet. So I would encourage political parties, NGOs, please lead delegations to the police and meet the Inspector General of Police and say, you know what? Life will be better if you behaved this way. And the Inspector General of Police will also say, this is how you should behave. I do believe that human rights in a vacuum. If there was a war here, would anybody be talking about right to this, right to that? So, in any situation where hostility, violence, and war has created mistrust, created enemies out of former friends, created misunderstandings, national reconciliation is a precondition. And that's one of the top agendas I arrived at the Ministry of Justice with. That precondition is very, very important because many of the contentions that lead to violations of human rights is basically because as Ugandans, We have given ourselves this beautiful constitution. It is like a very nice shoe. We are trying to wear it, but we are not walking nicely. We are limping. Why? Because there's a thorn in our foot. Until we remove that thorn, we will never walk properly with the nice shoe. If you have a thorn in your foot, however nice the shoe is, you will not walk properly. So we must insist that to achieve the very good objectives that are in the National Action Plan on Human Rights, we must create this precondition of a reconciled society. That is still a big problem in Uganda. At the Ministry of Justice, we are working together with the Ministry of Internal Affairs to enact the Transitional Justice Bill. And I call upon all of you who are here to support that process, particularly the traditional leaders. These are your people. Unless Ugandans are reconciled to one another, all these things we are talking about will never lead us far. As I campaigned for the presidency in 2011, I arrived in Nakaseke after giving what I thought was a brilliant speech stating my vision of a better Uganda. And the lady put up her hand me in Uganda. How do you deal with that? For those who don't understand Uganda, the question was, you, our beloved presidential candidate from DP, did you say you are Anacholi? Are you not the people who slaughtered us here? Now, how does the National Action Plan work in that environment? Tell me. So, reconciling Uganda is a precondition for all these things we are talking about. Whether it is standard gauge railway, whether it is a Myoga, whether it is PDM, whether it is what, reconciling Uganda is critical. Of course, I had to explain myself to the lady. I told her, Madam, I'm very sorry about your suffering during the war. I'm aware that many of my tribesmen were here. It is not my job to defend them. If they killed people, if they slaughtered people, I condemn it. That's very unfortunate. But my view is that there should be individual responsibility for individual crimes. I raised up my hand and said, Madam, look at my hand. There's not a single drop of blood of anybody from Nakaseke on my hands. Then I told her, are you aware that the Kabaka's grandfather ordered the killing of the Uganda martyrs? Should we hang that crime on Kabaka Mutebi's neck forever? Thereafter, on the neck of Semakokiro? Why would the churches welcome the Kabaka in Namirembe and Rubaga if they were reasoning like you? Because to you, you are now seeing a killer. Madam, my name is Norbert Mao, and I have not killed anybody in Nakaseke. I'm very sorry. And just for your information, you are from Nakaseke. Do you know that your tomatoes, onions, and pineapples pass through a Choli land to go to South Sudan, where you earn money to educate your children? I suggest that you reconsider that line, because otherwise it will backfire on you very badly. It was my way of telling her that, by the way, that road you have taken does not serve even your best interest, because you are driving through the territories of the so-called Anyanyas so that you earn money to build your house and educate your children. Why do you want to insist? But it still made the important point that National reconciliation is a precondition for whatever we are trying to discuss here, including the demand for a peaceful transition of power. No matter what the president says, I will never stop talking about it. I will be talking about it at every opportunity. That's why I'm in this job. And indeed, I have said my agenda is clear. National dialogue, national reconciliation, constitutionalism, rule of law, defending human rights. And I've said I will either finish the job or the job will finish me, whichever comes first. I'm not afraid. Sometimes the job finishes you. It is okay. There are many people whose jobs finished them. But at least you must die on duty. You must not die while running away from your duty. So, dear friends, we must work to that point where the old feelings of bitterness, hate, lack of confidence should disappear. New values that unify us must be put in place. In short, there must be a complete spirit of forgiveness and revival of basic human values, dignity of the human person, dignity for all peoples that constitute our country, Uganda. I am lucky that I am Uganda made simple. My mother is from Isinjiro. My father is from Gulu. Grew up in Busoga. Went to school here in Buganda. I was even brought up by a Muganda mother called Namiro. So if you are a member of the Mambo clan, then and this is what I have. You with the Mambo clan. To develop human potential and material resources. Abusing